approaching practice this week with sort of the multiple objectives between, getting guys in the right mindset after having a tough end?
Yeah, no, absolutely. New season, it's do or die season, and the biggest thing is have the mindset of our guys know what's at stake, and we got to go after it and get it done. There's no redos, there's no next game mentality. It's all about being in the moment, and we're gonna do spirited practices and get ready for UMass, and then get up to New York and be ready to go.
Will the extra day or two off help you at all injury-wise?
I hope so. We've had to take a lot of days of rehab, a lot of days of getting guys off feet to get right and get a little bit better than you were the last game. So that was important this weekend to make sure we have some fresh legs and clear minds. And hopefully the text I just got was from our trainer with the list of guys and where they're at. So hopefully as we move along, it keeps getting smaller. It hasn't yet, but we're working on it.
So Corey and Vince are right now the same?
Yeah, they're out.
Marcus, will he continue to be on a minutes restriction off the bench?
To be determined. Hopefully in the next 2 days, good rehab, having the last 2 days off. Hopefully we can do more with them and all that. But right now we are, because they are. We still got to make sure his injury is the same or getting better.
Darion, do you expect him to play at all, or
No.
or he'll be out?
I just can't comment on that.
No problem.
Isaac with the calf, is he practicing back at the moment?
Well, he'll try some today, but he'll be sort of limited. But we'll see.
You see your guys kind of embracing this fresh start, kind of, everyone's 0-0, like you said, and, time to rock.
Heck yeah. I mean, hey, it is what it is. The last month has been, it's been bizarre. It's been crazy. It's been tough. But that's one great thing about college basketball is you get this time of the year, you get a fresh start this week. It's do or die. Every game's a game 7, and let's see what we got.
UMass, what do you remember about them? I mean, Trey Mitchell obviously stands out on paper and when you watch film, but what do you remember about them? You guys seem to play pretty well, it's just kind of the shots not falling.
Yeah, we didn't play well enough to win on the road. We had a rough second half, especially offensively. We shortened the game a lot that game, and just to see if we hang around and pull it out. And we didn't do that. Missed a lot of open shots, but credit to Matt and his club. Mitchell played great, but they had other guys that made plays. They made some timely threes. We got a big lead on them, 38-30, and gave them two threes to get back into it. So, we got to be ready to play. They're playing with great confidence. They've improved throughout the second half of the year, so we'll have our hands full, but we'll be ready.
Is it nice to kind of see a team that you just saw a few weeks ago, or does that really matter? Doesn't matter at all?
You watch everybody in the league so many times, especially the second half of the year. You go back to when you played them, you watch them against other teams, so everybody's pretty familiar with your opponent, no matter who it is.
And your squad, we were talking with Chris, you guys have a familiarity with this building, so the venue should not be too big or too awe-inspiring for anybody because you played so many times up there.
Yeah, without a doubt, and it's the A10 tournament in Barclays. I mean, VCU has done very well there. To me, it's about making sure you're ready to go and knowing that it's do or die time, and go let your hair down and play.
Kind of out there, what's the most important thing for a run over a 4-day stretch? Like, obviously you weren't here, but the team won 4 games in 2015. So what does it take for a team to make a run like that?
Nothing in the way. Nothing can be in the way of one goal, and that's to win the game. That's it. Don't bring any adversity to your team. Don't bring any selfishness to your team. All that matters is helping the team win that game that day, and that's how you win 4 in a row.
Who do you need to kind of maybe take the torch leadership-wise? You got, some of your seniors are banged up and out. Is it Santos Silva? Who do you need to kind of be that range?
Yeah, he leads by example, by toughness, by being a warrior every day, without a doubt, and we'll play through him so much. But honestly, because we play the way we play and our style of play, and a lot of guys got to step up at this time of year. As I always say, at this time of the year, the guys you're counting on got to be there, and then some guys that maybe play above their stat line or go in there and make some winning plays that maybe not surprise some people. I think that's very important. So it's step up time for everybody. Do a little bit more for your team right now than maybe you did a week ago or a month ago. That helps your team find a way to win this time of year.
Coach, in some of your losses, the second half run by your opponent seems to have kind of been the thing that's bit you guys.
Yeah.
How do you prevent that? How do you kind of get in the way and
Score.
Yeah.
Score. A lot of that is our lack of offense. Our lack of offensive production has affected our defense. But find ways to score when we're having runs. And the other night we executed some plays. We just didn't finish the plays. And I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but the word I've used a lot is finish. Late in the middle of the second half, late in the second half, we execute a play, we just don't finish the play, or we have a good post move and we don't finish the post move. We get a steal and we come down and give it right back to them. We don't finish with a positive result, and that has affected us. Honestly, that's affected us more than anything all year long. But it's really hurt us in the last month playing against some teams that they finished plays and they made a 10-0, 12-2 run when we've run some good stuff and the guys executed. We didn't finish it with an offensive score, and that is. I mean, I went back and watched all our second halves, the last 15 second halves, and the last few days, and finishing. We got to finish better in so many ways.
Will having faced him in person change a little bit how you deal with Trey Mitchell?
Yeah, without a doubt, and we'll try to guard him different ways, without a doubt.
Santos Silva talked Friday about sort of sticking to the game plan in those stretches where maybe you have a little bit of a rough patch in the second half. What are you telling, I think, this time of the year about trying to stay on a game plan if things go?
Yes, sticking to the game plan, even though you didn't finish a play. Well, we did it the right way. We just didn't get the end result. Well, let's do that again and get the end result. That's the finish part. He's exactly right. Sometimes someone will go astray and, well, I'm going to make it back by jacking a three or putting my head down and getting a charge. And we work on that all the time in practice, but that's the game slippage that we've had that's really hurt us.
Do you tell the freshmen anything different this week to get them ready, like the guys who are playing, or just more kind of keep doing what you're doing?
No, fire them up, get them really excited about them playing in their first conference tournament in Barclays, and help the team win. They're all going to play. They're all going to be thrown in the fire, so be ready to go. We'll have them excited.
Aside from Trey Mitchell, Carpierre played well in that first matchup. What do you need to do to kind of keep him off the three-point line?
Yeah, don't give him any threes. You should be on staff, Wayne. When our three-point defense is very good, we're a better defensive team. That's one thing we were so good at last year. And at times this year, it was the reason we won games. But the fall through with our three-point defense this year has been sporadic, and that's hurt us.
Jaren, you talked about him a little bit this recent stretch, but obviously he's played each of these last several games or so, played consistent minutes. What growth have you seen from him this maybe last third of the season or so that he's played a lot more? Well,
he practices really hard, works on his game, but he practices really hard. He listens. He tries to do what the coaches tell him, and it's carried over to the game. And I always say when you work really hard on your game, you're very coachable, and you listen at a high level. It eventually carries over to game time, and you have positive results in games. And for freshmen, it's a huge adjustment. The speed, the size, you could say the pressure in the environment. So that takes time, like anything. But when you're doing things the right way in practice every day, that's when it's eventually going to give you success on the court. And Jaren's been a great example of that. I'm really proud of him. He's going to play multiple positions in his career. This year, we've sort of thrown him in the fire playing at the power forward position, but he's done a great job with it, and he's getting better and better. And as many people have seen, he makes explosive plays, and we haven't had enough of them this year. And so he continues to keep maturing and keep working. You're going to see more and more of them in his career.
Touching on Santos Silva again, he's obviously been a guy that's been leading scorer, leading rebounder throughout the year. You mentioned his work ethic. What, as a junior, have you been most proud of throughout this whole season?
how coachable he is, and he's hard on himself, and he gets frustrated when things aren't going his way. But because of his added maturity and his experience, he comes back to where he needs to be quicker, which is a sign of maturing and wanting to be one of the better players or the best player. I think he just works so hard and cares so much that he keeps getting better and wants to get better. He's not satisfied with where he's at, and he's a great example. He's a leader by example, and that's really good for our young guys and into the future.
It's easy to see things in a certain light when the wins are piling up, but during this stretch of losses, what have you learned from this group that gives you kind of encouragement moving forward?
Well, the young guys, with the injuries and changing some lineups and changing, the playing and all that, I really think the young guys have really improved and showed it in games, and people see their potential and what they're capable of doing. They got to do it on an everyday basis. But I think the freshmen getting thrown in the fire with these injuries have given some life to the team. So I'm really, really proud of that, and now build on it. That's the challenge to these guys this week and moving forward is continue to build on it. So that part of being a freshman at VCU is going through a lot of stuff, and those guys have sure gone through it.
Yeah, kind of like that mental aspect. You kind of see how strong
Yeah,
guys are.
yeah. Well, when you're a freshman, you find out there's a lot of really good players out there, better than you thought, or than, wow, I better get stronger, I better get quicker. I don't handle the ball as well as I did in high school. My shot isn't as quick as it needs to be to get them off. So there's just different aspects of your individual game that you learn by going through the fire. The next part of it is you got to learn how much of a student of the game you have to be. And that's one thing our freshmen are really learning. There's a big mind part of the game. You can't just roll the ball out and go play. That's just not how it is. You got to learn the game. You got to think the game. You got to log the game, and that takes time. It takes a lot longer than a freshman year, but you start that your freshman year. That's one aspect of it, and then the other part of it is I tell our guys how much better do you want to get. You can get better during the year on your game, so work on your game. And you have all these coaches and these resources around here to keep improving, continue to improve. And when you're going through your first year, those are the things that got to really matter.
Good.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.